So this tips and tricks video is focused around the face-based rebar. And what we're going to use is the associative extraction and intersection points. And I'm going to show you real quick how to utilize these tools along with irregular dispatch. Now, this will give us the ability to reinforce anything that you would want to reinforce in a model as long as it has a surface. So what I'm going to show you here is this right here is just a 20 by 20 cube, 15 feet extruded, just a simple cube. I'm basically just going to pick anywhere on this cube to start just drawing some lines. Rotate that to the front. I'll lock that in. I'm going to give a close element. Now why did I do that? Well, I'm going to use that poly as a cut. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to go back to my modeling tools. I'm going to modify, I'm actually going to go to feature, I'm sorry. I'm going to pick the cube, I'm going to pick that feature, and I'm just cut it through. So now you can see I've got just a oddly shaped piece of concrete. But now I need to reinforce this piece of concrete. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the concrete workflow. And I'm going to start extracting the faces or the surfaces a certain distance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to extract that face by -2 inch, which means I'm going to push the surface into the concrete. So what am I doing? I'm basically doing that offset to give myself some clearance. So if I come down here and I rotate to the bottom, I've picked my element, I picked my surface, I push it in. So you can see, and I've created a, guideline face type level. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to push these surfaces in. So I'm going to work my way around. So I'm going to pick the element, pick my surface. I'm going to rotate a little bit. I'm going to pick my element. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's pick my element, pick my surface. I'm going to rotate to the back here. I'm going to pick my element, pick my surface. Okay. So I have created 4 surfaces, right? So let's say that I need to put U-bars in this surface. Now I want to do what we call the intersection points. So here you've got to think about it this way. I've extracted a face, and I want to know where this face and this face intersects. And you're going to see right in here, a line gets drawn for me. Same thing. So it's best that you walk around the structure, just kind of thinking about what it is that you're trying to want, or that you want to reinforce, and where you want these intersection points to be. Because if you've used irregular dispatch, what you've just created are the guidelines. So I want here, and you noticed these are not touching, but it still knows where that intersection point is. So now I've put some guidelines in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my layers. Now I like to hit the use button a couple times. I'm going to turn off face because now it leaves me with lines. So just that simple, I've now created the guidelines that allows me to use irregular dispatch. Now keep in mind your guidelines are to face or surface of the concrete, so I need to come in 2 inch on each end. I'm going to do a spacing of 1 foot. I'm going to use the dispatch method of spacing. I'm going to pick my concrete, and then I'm going to walk around and create my U-bars. And now I can save it. So if something changes on this, so if I were to come in and I pick my element, and let's say I want to extrude it out longer, we can see, and here I'll rotate this, we can see that if I change, because I have associated those surfaces to those guidelines, it will adjust with it. It doesn't matter what it is that you're trying to adjust. So even if I were to come into here and say that I wanted to adjust my modified feature, so here, I'll pull back a little bit, you can see I'm going to change it. So we'll just come up a little bit. All of my U-bars just adjusted too. Same thing, we can bring it down. Actually, let's come over here. We'll do this one again. We'll lock it in place. So the U-bars are adjusting for me because they're associated to that piece of concrete. And again, if I wanted to get into some oddly type shaped items, I can do that. So if I wanted to start pushing in the faces, and I'm going to turn back on my layer for face. I'm going to do my concrete, push it in, push it in, push it in, push it in. Again, it doesn't matter. As long as it's a face, you can extract it. And then once you have those extracted, now you can start looking at drawing the lines. So where does this and this intersect? Where does this and this intersect? And where does this and this intersect? And this and this. Again, once you get those, I like to clean it up a little bit, and I'll turn off the face so I'm left with just my guidelines. Same thing, irregular dispatch. Pick my concrete. Pick my guidelines. Here to here to here. And just work it around. Save it. Close it. Again, if I wanted to change, if I wanted to change my profile, because those are associated, everything just with it. And then if I were to go in and decide that I wanted to cut a section on this, not a problem. Again, just real quick, we've got to position first. So we're going to run positioning. I'm going to pick what standard I want to use. Say OK to that. I'm going to run positioning. Triple dots means that it is a special shape. So what I'm going to do there is double click it. You can come in. You can actually see what it's going to draw. You can decide if that's what you want. I can call it whatever. TJS 7. It gives me all my dimensions. This is what it's going to look like on the tag. It's created a special shape for me. It's beautiful. Now I can come in and cut a section. We can see my bars. You can see my concrete. I like to see colors. And now you can just start making your call outs. Pick what you want. Once you have it, place it down. Oops. Same thing. Once you have it, place it down. If I don't like my scale, scale it up, scale it down. I can start dimensioning my bars, my concrete, whatever it is that I want to dimension. And then if you notice, I've got 22 bars here, 22 bars there, 4A1, 4A2. If I come back to the model, again, this is where everything's tied together. If I come back to the model, and let's just say, for simplicity's sake, I want to change the extrusion. And we'll extend it out again. Added bars in, and then your section cuts will also update. So now I have 27 bars. So just with a few clicks, you can see that you can reinforce pretty much anything you can think of. Oddly shaped structures, flat surfaces, it doesn't matter. As long as there's a face, you can extract it and you can reinforce it. If you've got any questions, please give us a call or check out the links below to some of our upcoming events.